Hey everyone, welcome to the Otherz podcast. I'm your host, Steve Penny. Joining me, as always, the boy from Brazil, Rafa. How you doing, man?
Yeah, very good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am good. We are recording a day later than usual because we were both having busy weeks, I feel, at the moment. I had a gig on Monday and then a holiday yesterday and today. So I was very late in preparing. But I think you've been a bit more prepared than me, and you're also off to another one of your sneaker conventions early tomorrow morning, aren't you?
Yes, this time we're going to Zurich, Switzerland. It's gonna be a weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, whole day, and it's gonna be great. I hope so.
I'm sure it will be. I will endeavour to get this podcast out before the weekend. So if we do happen to have any listeners in the Zurich area or around there, then you'll be able to hopefully hear this and maybe go and pay a visit to Rafa. But having
Yes,
not looked at any of the details, or not for a while, I have no idea if we have any Swiss listeners.
yeah,
But I'm sure it'll be great anyway.
yeah. No, it is, and uh, what I heard, like they don't have anything on their website, but what I heard, like the event Sneakerness was created in Zurich. Like the first one, I think it was in Rotterdam, but it was created by one guy that is from Switzerland and other guy from Holland. So yeah.
Nice.
So I'm pretty sure that they're gonna prepare something special just because.
Hey, it should be good.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll sell €1 million worth of artwork.
Please, I need it. That city is super expensive, bro. Like I was watching the prices, like looking to the prices, and I'm like, oh my God, what is happening there? It's hell expensive. But let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll have fun nonetheless. I'm sure though.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So this week we are going to follow our trend, I think, of the last sort of few months, and we're going back in time quite a bit, and we're still back in the early 2000s, 2002, back to another Noreaga track. This time, Nothing.
Nothing.
Now, again, you seemed quite up for this one, and you liked the fact that I picked it. So you're a fan of this track?
Yes, but it's an emotional reason. It's because the first time that I saw Pharrell was in Rio, in this. I think we can call it festival, but it was like one day festival. It's called it Life Earth. Life Earth. It was in 2007, and they performed in Copacabana. The same thing that Madonna is doing today in Brazil. They did it in 2007, and they before they got into like the N.E.R.D songs, they did a little medley, and that was one of the songs. And I was surprised by it because I remember like when we watched like especially that time like in 2005, 2006, every time we saw like Pharrell and N.E.R.D perform, all the time they perform medleys, it was always the Paz de Courvoisier, it was I Just Wanna Love You, and it was the first time that I saw he performing Nothing. And I was so surprised. I was like, "Oh shit! Like this, I know that song." Like, and nobody around me like knew the song, so I was like singing along. It was pretty special. And and I'm pretty sure that was the first song that I heard in the club that I recognized as a Neptune song when I heard in the club. Meaning, after I became a fan, it was when I was in a club and when the DJ played, I was like, "Oh, that's Neptune." So I still hold that moment with me, you know. And other time, what and one of the events like that was I was selling the my prints, my posters they had a DJ in there, and he was playing a lot of songs. And that song was the first Neptune song that he played. So when it started, like, of course, and the instrumental is always the first one that came. And when it's like, oh no 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 no, and I stopped everything. I remember I was talking with a friend, like about to sell a print, and when the song came out, like, oh shit, I know that. And I looked at the DJ and I did the thumbs up. And after that, like I showed him the my N.E.R.D tattoo. I say like, oh, I'm a huge fan. Thanks for putting that song on. So yeah, I think like for emotional reasons, like that song always like appears in cool moments in my life.
Yeah, it's one that I don't hear that often nowadays. It will occasionally come on like a kind of hip hop night if I go to one at a bar or a club or somewhere. But yeah, I don't hear it in full that often. But to your point earlier, I think yeah, around 2002 to maybe 2004, 2005, they would include this like in those little medleys they would do. So I had heard sort of Pharrell do it a few times back in the day, but then it got dropped for whatever reason. They started picking other bigger hits to put into the medley. But yeah, it definitely used to be in there. But
Yeah,
before we get right into it, let's just go through some stats very quickly. So
nice.
this came out in May 2002. It was the first single from N.O.R.E's third album, God's Favorite. In terms of charts success, it did pretty well. It got to number 10 on the main Billboard Hot 100 chart in the US, and it ranked 37 in the end of year Hot 100 singles. It got to number 1 on the UK hip hop and R&B chart, number 2 on the US equivalent. The video itself, directed by Steve Carr, 14 million views on YouTube. Now, Steve Carr, the director, I didn't recognize the name. He's not done a lot of other stuff with like kind of Pharrell, but I kind of looked back through his filmography to kind of see what he had been working on over the years. And he has a very strange and eclectic mix of things that he has directed and been involved in. He
Really?
seems to make a lot of really good music videos and then a lot of really poor movies.
Oh,
So in terms of music videos, he's done some classic songs. So there's "Back the Fuck Up" by Onyx, Method Man's "Release Yourself," Jay Z, Ja Rule, Emil, Can I Get Her? Jay Z's "Hard Knock Life" he did, EPMD's "Symphony 2000" with Meth and Red. So yeah, some quite popular songs, some well known ones.
okay,
But then in terms of videos, next Friday. Now,
okay. Oh, the
obviously,
movie?
next Friday wasn't awful. Well, obviously
Yeah,
not as good as the original, but I think all of the Friday movies kind of went downhill after the first one.
yeah.
But not a bad one. But then he seemed to do. He's done Doctor Doolittle 2,
Oh, okay.
Daddy Daycare,
Okay.
Paul Blart Mall Cop,
What is that?
Freaky
I don't know that
Friday
one.
the musical. Like
What?
there's just a weird eclectic mix of like really poor movies and classic hip hop
Exactly.
songs.
Wow. Freaky Friday, the musical. Wow. Insane.
So yeah, I was looking for his list and I was trying to find like standout stuff, and obviously to me it's all the music videos from the kind of late '90s, early 2000s, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
probably
No,
next
100%.
Friday, which was passable, I guess. I
Yeah,
think
it
if
is.
I haven't seen it for years. I think if I went back and watched it now, I probably wouldn't think of it as highly as I am now in my head.
Yeah.
But I'll keep the memory alive, and I won't go back and watch it anytime
Yeah.
soon. But
But
I
one
remember it being
question.
reasonably funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like one question, like that was the like that was the one that there's a scene on the bathroom with what is the name? We I forgot everybody's name, but what is the name of the black actor that he's super strong that he was in White Chicks, the big one? I'm talking about Latrell that he did. The name of the character is Latrell in the White Chicks. He's still doing
You
stuff.
think I've watched White Chicks? Come on, mate.
Come on, man!
We've had
But
these
you
conversations before.
okay? So, but do you know? what movie I'm talking about? White
Yeah,
Chicks,
yeah, I think yeah, yeah. I know
with
the
the
movie.
Wayans
Yeah.
brothers. But I mean, is the actor that is on the series Brooklyn 99? But he's the big strong one. He's always popping his breast on TV every time he get a chance. Oh man, forget about this. Like we're getting into but there's a scene with a pimp and this guy. I don't remember. And the pimp start to jerking off him on the bathroom. I remember a scene like that,
Okay.
but I don't remember if it's on that movie. I remember it's on one of the Friday movies, but I don't remember which one. I remember that scene vividly because I remember watching that movie and my mom was also watching. And when that scene came out, I was like so uncomfortable. Yeah,
Awkward.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just trying to flick through the app that I use, Call Sheet, to look at names and faces of people that are in this one. Because again, my memory's terrible for like movies and things, but this is the one where they win the lottery, don't they? And they move to outside of LA to it's Rancho Cucamonga, isn't it? I think.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and now I'm just trying to look through the list of people in it.
Oh, the name of the actor is Terry Crews. That's the guy.
Terry Crews. Yes, I know who you mean. So
Yeah,
he's in
yeah.
this movie, is he? Okay.
It is, right? Friday, yeah. Friday after. There's three movies, right?
Then, oh god, yeah, good
Or
question. I
two?
think no, there's at least three
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because there's
Wow.
like Friday, next Friday. I think some is it Friday after next, but then I think they did like another spin-off one or something as well.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's the one, like the Friday after next. If I
Okay,
think it was. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Well, let's set some homework for somebody. Someone else out there can go and watch them for us, and remind us of what happens in each of them. Because I'm
Yeah.
not going to do it. But anyway, the kind of tie into from that movie to this music video is that
Yeah.
Mike Epps appears in both of them.
Yes.
So comedian and actor Mike Epps. We've also got cameos from Ja Rule, Capone, and comedian Alex Thomas as well. And then I noticed in the opening, well, just before the opening scene, there's text on the screen, and it says Friday night. So again, I didn't know if the director was kind of a little callback to having directed Next
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah,
He used Friday night. He could have said Saturday night if he'd wanted, but he went with
yeah.
Friday. So, and again, the Mike Epps kind of link there as well,
Oh
perhaps.
yeah, 100%.
So the video itself, going back and watching it like today, it's very much of its time. It looks like an early 2000s hip hop
100%.
video.
Yeah, yeah,
It's, club based, as a lot of videos were then. And it's also got those non musical intros, outros, skits, and cut scenes in it as well, which we
yeah,
kind of talked about on the Pastor Cavoisier as well and other videos that we've talked
yeah.
about.
I miss those.
Yeah, see, I don't. Again, I watched it today. I was like, oh god, this is cringe.
Yeah, no, it is, but it's just the nostalgia.
No, not for me, thank you. Not for me.
Okay.
And again, I found the scene itself. Looking, watching it back now and looking at it, you've got the guy, the comedian Alex Thomas, kind of portraying somebody that hangs out with Noreaga, and Nori says, "Oh, I asked him to put like gas in the car before we got here and stuff." And the guy's pushing the big Escalade up to the entrance of the club.
Yeah.
But I just kind of thought, wouldn't that be more embarrassing if
100%.
you like? It doesn't. When you actually think about it, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a guy push your car, make him push it. Make him push it to the gas station, or like
Mm.
you don't push the car outside. Like, hey girls, look at me! I pulled up my Escalade and I've got no gas in it. Like it was just the concept is just a bit strange, but I guess it's one of those things where they just thought, what might be funny to do, and they're probably
Yeah,
just throwing
exactly.
ideas out there. It's probably one of a million different ideas, and it got in there in the end.
Yeah, but if you think about like that was early 2000s, and if you are doing that video for your audience that is gonna be like 15 to 25-year-old boys or men, like it's gonna be funny, you know. Like,
To
oh,
be
I
fair,
would
I
love
probably thought
to
it was
be
funny
part of
then. Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I very much get the feeling that the director probably gave Alex Thomas and Mike Epps just free reign to kind of do whatever and improvise a lot of those scenes, because there's obviously the stuff when N.O.R.E goes into the club, and then the character is trying to follow him in there and can't get in, and he's kind of shouting things out, and he's sucking on his inhaler, and he's like, "Ah, oh, N.O.R.E knows I've got asthma. This ain't cool." And then he starts shouting out like, "Oh, it's my baby mama,"
Yeah, yeah.
trying to get in.
Talaliches.
Yeah. So I imagine they improvised a lot of that, and some of that's like quite amusing. And I'm sure back in 2002 I probably laughed at it, but looking back at it
Mm,
now, it's a little bit cringe, and it always seems to be the case when you let kind of stand up comedians improvise things in music videos. They always seem
yeah.
a little bit
Just do
off.
your thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, do your thing, but we're going to cut it down to literally 3 seconds. So it
yeah.
has to be hilarious in some way. And unfortunately, most
Yeah.
times it isn't.
And this comedian, like, he has a lot of screen time on this video. He appear a lot.
Yeah, Alex Thomas does. Yeah. He's on it obviously at the start, at the end, he's on it as well. And I think during the middle as well, I think he appears in a couple of little bits.
Hmm.
So yeah, he gets a fair bit of screen time, in fact.
Yeah.
From a 4 minute video or whatever it is, I'll have to click over and look at it. What is the runtime? 4 minutes 57. There's probably a good minute's worth nearly that he's in.
But yeah, like you said, like it's the classic hip hop video for early 2000s, the club, the in the table with your homies, drinking champagne with a lot of girls, the light skinned girl in your side, and you're rapping your ass. Like, classic.
Yeah, it's full of the classic video girls of the time.
Yeah, and also the Japanese timid restaurant with the decorations, all Japanese, Asian. I don't know which. I don't want to disrespect any Asian culture, but I guess it's Japanese. So yeah, super classic.
Of its time for sure, and also including like the wardrobe and everything. And when I think of like Noreaga, this is like the classic Noreaga that I always think of, especially when he's in the Astros jersey with the
Yeah,
matching sort of fitted hat backwards as well. And also
yeah,
when he's in the club and he's got that kind of oversized, I don't know if it's an actual Chanel piece, but it's obviously got the two C's on it. So it's
yeah,
meant
yeah,
to look as if it's Chanel. I don't know if it's Chanel even ever made that.
yeah, yeah.
And then with the white like headband on as well. That's kind of
The
like classic
headband.
N.O.R.E that I think
Yeah, yeah,
of.
yeah. If like I always think about like he if Nori has a logo, it has to be like his face with the headband, the classic,
Yes.
and the goatee.
Yeah. And we also see, as I mentioned, Ja Rule pops up a couple of times. This
Yeah,
is, while Ja Rule, I guess, was still a reasonably credible artist.
yeah. Friendly with everybody until he start to beef with everyone.
Yes. Did he ever beef with N.O.R.E? I
Probably.
don't know.
But
Probably
he,
at some point. Yeah, I guess.
yeah, I think he had a beef with Pharrell for whatever reason. Like, if you have a beef with Pharrell, or you're wrong, or you're, I don't know, like, why?
Probably mad that Pharrell gave him that awful fucking beat that he did.
Which one?
What's the one track they did?
Pop
Pop shit.
Jiggles? Yeah, pop
Pop
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Ah, man, I like that bit, but I like that bit for a minute. Like, for 3 minutes is a lot, but
Well,
for
there
one
you go
minute,
then. It's
it's
not good,
still,
is it?
yeah.
You can't go, it's great, but only for a minute, though. No, it's not how the song works.
Yeah, because start to getting annoyed, but I mean, come on, like,
Exactly.
but if you think about it, like for example, like the Neptune's Clones intro, like is the that beat like it's 30 seconds, right? Like 30, 40 seconds tops. And it's a perfect beat. Like I always think about like, oh, that would be like amazing in a song, but
Yeah, yeah.
it will be like we don't know. So maybe that song, like if it was for like 30 seconds, you're gonna be like, oh, that shit is dope. But for 30
Yeah,
minutes with
yeah,
Ja Rule, it's a
but
lot.
it's not 30 seconds, is it? It's a three and a
Okay,
half
okay.
minute fucking song.
No, no, and I'm sorry for the Neptunes fans to comparing the intro of Neptune's clones with that shit. Like, it's not comparable. Like, the intro is amazing.
I vaguely remember also seeing a Tyler the Creator interview years ago where he says the same thing, where he's just like, pop shit is like the worst beat in the world. He's like, it's my least favorite Neptune's track ever. He hates it.
Wow.
So at least we know Tyler's got good taste.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
All right, so let's get into the video itself. We get a grimy reference quite early on. Obviously, another Neptune's produced track. What I really like about the first verse, which I recognised but never could really remember exactly where it was from until I actually looked it up today. It's got the same kind of flow as a Jungle Brothers track.
Oh,
JB's coming through, and it also interpolates, which is weird. It sort of interpolates parts of it, but the interpolations are not listed in the credits anywhere. Now, there is a
okay.
link between Jungle Brothers and N.O.R.E, and that's that when this song came out, Chris Lighty was N.O.R.E's manager, and he used to be a
Oh,
manager or a road manager for Jungle Brothers. So there is a tie in there, and obviously, Jungle Brothers have influenced everybody over the years, so they're massively popular. But it was interesting to see the whole kind of flow in there, and kind of copying that flow from the first verse of that song.
nice. I had no idea. I mean, like, Neptunes has, must have, like, a million interpolations that is not credited.
Well, it's not the Neptune's part. It's the there's one line of
Oh, the
lyrics.
line.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, sorry.
yeah. There's a line in there, and it's very, very, very close and said in exactly the same way. So I'm unsure as to how they got away with not crediting that. But
Yeah.
there's also a nice diss to Tommy Boy. This was in N.O.R.E's era where he had left Tommy Boy, the record label, and hated them with every ounce of his body. So he referenced them in many songs and dissed them in many songs. And there's another one in this track. Left that whack label because I don't like pricks. Sucks to be Tommy
Straightforward.
Boy at that time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm. It's not
What was
even
the other
in a
song?
stick.
Was it in Grimy where he says, "Yeah, fuck Tommy Boy, them
Yeah.
just suck." Yeah, not friends with them or on their Christmas card list. And then I also liked the actual interpolation that is credited at the end of the first verse, where he says, "At the White Boy Club while I'm buying the bar. Hey now, I'm an all star." Again, I'm not a Smash Mouth fan. I'm not even a fan of that song, but I just liked the interpolation that was used because obviously it was a popular song around that time,
Yeah, yeah.
and tied in
100%.
well with the kind of white boy lyric as well, which I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
liked.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, the line that pops out in my mind, like especially like listening to it the last couple of days, was I think it was in the third verse when he said, "I'm half Spanish. You see a cook for Goya." So Goya is like a very well known Spanish artist. But then he said, "I'm half Spanish. All day arroz con pollo." So arroz con pollo is basically rice with I mean, he mean to say rice with chicken, but pollo with the O at the end is actually chicken. But polla is dick. So he's basically saying like all day rice with dicks. Like, good for you. Like, and he's like half Spanish. Like he should know.
Maybe just a mispronunciation on his part there.
Yeah, of course.
And if we're getting into Noriega's Spanish, I do like the line, "They call me Gordo," which is Spanish for fat.
Yeah,
I pour the champagne that's in Porto,
yeah.
like imported, but I've got to Spanishize it in
Yeah,
Porto.
exactly. No, and when I heard that line, I was like, he means in Porto that is for imported, okay, but I also thought about how maybe he's meaning like he came from Porto, like because Portugal, like the city of Porto, they have very good wines. They're very well known wines. So I thought a little bit like, oh, he mean that, but I
No,
don't
he
think so.
doesn't.
Nah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
As much as I love Noreaga, he's not that clever. I think if you listen to any of his podcasts, you would come to that opinion quite quickly. Bless him.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the. Oh, I mean, there's nothing to do with he's being clever or not, but I was thinking by myself right now. But sorry, but one thing with me with N.O.R.E tracks, especially the ones that are produced by the Neptunes, that everything that I'm hearing, I don't know, I'm hearing a playlist like a Neptunes playlist, and every time when you start to play the Noreaga songs, I always skip everyone, like every songs. Like, oh, I know that's those one, and I always skip it. But when I came to 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 listen to those, I was like, oh my god, why I don't listen to this like more often? Because it's always so much bangs, so much
Nori's
bangers.
got bangers. Nori has even like his
Man,
even his more recent stuff that hasn't been like as popular. There's still some good stuff in there.
yeah, it is. But I think because one thing that I think is the one thing that about Nuri is like it bothers me, but also I think it's super cool of him because it's part of his character as a rapper. Like his flow is strange. It's a strange flow. It's unbalanced, you know. It's, sometimes it's also offbeat. So
Hmm.
sometimes it sounds like he's speaking on the track. Like, oh my god! But it makes him like Nori, you know, like when
Yeah, I would say like in my view, I think Nori's like underrated as a whole,
yeah
and I think he tends to be underrated just because he's not a great lyricist. Let's be honest. Like
yeah
he says some like really dumb shit and just shit that doesn't even make sense in songs. And I don't know. He just picks like he can just pick random shit that just rhymes sometimes. It all just fits into a space but makes no sense.
yeah
Now that's just part of it. Again, part of his style, part of his character, and stuff like that. But I think that's why people kind of look down on some of his stuff sometimes because
yeah
they're like,
yeah
oh, it's just it's dumb or whatever. But I think over the years, like if you went back and listened to his albums, yeah, there's probably a lot of filler. There's probably a fair bit of stuff that isn't great, but I would say there's a decent percentage that is actually really good.
yeah, it is 100%. No, just a note. Like, let's go back and listen more to Nori. He got some bangers.
Definitely, especially the stuff with like Capone, like the Capone and
Yeah,
Noreaga albums. Were generally pretty solid, pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
his
is.
stuff while like Capone was in jail, his stuff was could be a bit hit and miss. Still had some absolute bangers out there.
Yeah,
And then speaking of bangers, we get to the classic Pharrell hook on this track. I
homeboy.
came to party. That like you could put that track is just to me quintessential early 2000s Pharrell. It's like it's a perfect hook to me. I was listening back to it earlier and it's just like, oh, it's just so good. Such a
Yeah,
good
it is.
hook.
And it also came with the Pharrell classic ad libs. Ho! So you gotta love that. Like as a Neptune fan, like if you don't like Pharrell saying "ho" on the track, like you're not a
Get
Neptune
out of
fan.
here.
Yeah, get out of here.
But then in sort of juxtaposition to that, it's probably one of the weakest Neptunes or Pharrell bridges that's ever been made. It's just a lot of
Oh
la la
yeah.
la's, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It works in the track. It's meant to be a club track. It's not it's not going to have like a really deep bridge or something that switches up or it's meant to keep people occupied on a dance floor. So it kind of works, but very very simplistic and not much to it. But the
Yeah.
hook is a classic.
No, it is like 100%. And Pharrell is uncredited, right? I mean, in the title of the song. Sorry.
Yeah. So from what I've hang on, let me have a look. Some bits I've looked at say featuring Pharrell, some things don't. So yeah, like on the official music video, it doesn't say featuring Pharrell. But then if you go and look in other places, it will say featuring Pharrell. Which again I find funny because early 2000s Pharrell, the Neptunes blowing up. You would think they would plaster Pharrell's name all over the
Yeah.
track to really kind of help market it. So, but then these videos went up after the fact; they didn't go up in 2002. So it
Oh
might
yeah.
just be that it got left off.
Yeah, 100%.
And then at the end of the hook, we get another cheesy cutscene featuring Mike Epps this time. Again, I assume they let him try and improvise. This is probably one of many improv things he did.
Yeah.
I watching it again today, I did not find it funny in the
Yeah,
slightest.
no, that was cringe. When he trying to show the girls how he was his dance moves,
Yeah.
and I was paying attention to the white girl, and she was
Oh
100% in it.
no.
She was
Oh,
100% in it. Like, I'm gonna get an Oscar for this.
people, you probably never noticed because you're probably concentrating on Mike Epps as he does a weird skit going, I was a Lionel Richie dancer, and then like doing his weird dance move. But look at the white girl on the left of him with the brown hair. She is fucking all in. It's
Yeah.
weird. Her
Like,
face,
she's a
she
professional.
looks possessed.
Yes, exactly. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Like, give that girl her credits, like her flowers. Like, she needs it.
The
She
two
needs
other
it.
girls are, the two other girls are kind of like laughing a bit, and they're like, "Oh, this is funny." We were sat here with
Yeah,
Mike Epps for probably half an hour doing stupid shit, but the white
exactly.
girl is just like
She
fucking
was in it.
full on still. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a great spot. I saw that as well, and I didn't put it in the notes, but
yeah,
yeah, that was the one part that did make me laugh.
so good. But that is cringe.
Yeah, it did very
That
much so.
part.
And then afterwards as well, there's a lot of little cut scenes where it goes to Mike Epps in one of the corridors of the club doing like stupid dance moves and stuff. And again, it's just like,
Yeah,
oh god, 2002. There was so much money and so many bad videos.
yeah, exactly.
Like that video, I don't know if it's an actual club or a set they designed or whatever, but either way, that wouldn't have been cheap. And then to pay for Mike Epps as well,
Yeah,
probably not
exactly,
cheap. And what you're doing with him, you're making him do like stupid improv scenes and dancing like a fucking idiot. Like, oh god,
exactly.
yes. So yeah, not the best. What else did I have in there? One thing I did like towards the end, I think it's the start of the third verse, where just some like wordplay, where some not good N.O.R.E wordplay, but just wordplay I enjoyed. Was he kind of has a little Britney Spears reference where he says like, "Oops, I done it again,"
Yeah,
in relation to "Oops, I did it again." But then the dun dun he then reuses later in the verse, and then it also has a dun 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 a dun. And I just found that kind of a quite
yeah,
an interesting little bit of play that he did there in the final verse. Again, not groundbreaking by any sense of the imagination, but it was nice to hear.
yeah. Nice.
Then we've also got. Have you heard the remix of this track?
No.
Okay, so there's a remix. I think I've got a copy of it. I'll have to send it to you. It's everyone's favorite friend Diddy. Rolling my eyes as I say that. God help us. Foxy Brown, Capone, Final Chapter, and then Mussolini and Mays. That I think were also
Oh, okay.
signed to Violator, the same as N.O.R.E. Not a bad remix. It's all right.
Okay.
I think there's
But
a slight.
it's a remix with just other but with featurings, or there's a completely different bit.
It's different. So the beat is switched up a little bit, and if I remember rightly, the N.O.R.E stuff is different.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a copy. Remind me.
Okay.
I'll send it over to you. So yes, if you've not heard the remix, there is a version of that floating around, and if you listen to this and you want a copy, if you can't find it, let me know. Reach out. And then one thing I did notice, I looked through the comments on YouTube, and a lot of them were said "Hear from XG," and I was like, "Oh man, I'm old.
Yeah.
What is XG? Who is this?"
Yeah.
And I went and googled it and ended up down a K-pop rabbit hole for about half an hour earlier.
Nice.
And it was not nice at all. So there is, and again, I found this version really really bad. There is a girl group. There, what I read was a Japanese girl group, but they're based in South Korea. They're called XG, which I can't remember what it stands for now. Something gals. I don't know. They seem very popular with young people. I'm sure people out there know who they are. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
can go Google them. And they use the N.O.R.E beat, and two of the seven girls are just on this track, and they kind of rhyme and sing over it. It's awful. It was terrible,
But I mean,
and
I
their
like the
voices are really bad.
yeah. Like the flow. I also hate it, but I like the at the beginning of the track. I think the girls like shout out N.O.R.E for something, and I thought like, oh, okay, that's good, like a little shout out, respect to the
Yeah.
OGs. Yeah, but I mean,
Oh,
Jap
let's be honest. There's no
yeah,
chance in hell that
it's
those
not
girls
for us.
knew who Noreaga was.
Yeah, it's not for us. Oh, I mean, like Japanese people, like sometimes like they know shit that we wouldn't imagine that they know. But yeah. But I heard that song. I think the at on the week that they released that song, I think I heard it because Juliana showed it me. She was like, "Do you know this beat?" And I was like, "Oh, 100%."
Yeah.
Because Juliana and her sister, they are a little bit into K-pop. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they always show it to me like, "Oh, do you know this? Do you know that?" I'm like, "Okay." And then when I heard, I was like, "Okay,
A lot of stuff they torture you with.
yeah, yeah,
Although watching the video, I did the video itself was quite well shot, and I quite liked some of the styling in the video. One girl's got like all Louis Vuitton on, and it looked like possibly a pair of the Pharrell Louis Vuitton jeans.
oh,
But then
okay,
the
nice."
other girl is dressed up like a rapper from like the 1990s, like it, dressed up like I would imagine a white person would dress up like if they were going as a rapper for Halloween or something.
Yeah.
Just like oh god,
Yeah, that's one thing that I struggle a lot when I'm watching like especially K-pop videos because a lot of them they have a like hip hop influence styles, and I was like, oh man, it looks like it look like they
cosplaying
are
a rapper.
cosplaying. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly the word, like cosplaying. Like, I was like, ugh. And I know maybe
yeah.
it's just because I'm getting old and I'm just not used to seeing that. But I was like, oh. But if you really pay attention, like I know we are starting to talk about K-pop. I'm sorry for everybody that is listening to it. But if you pay attention to the videos, all the videos is super good. Like because they have a lot of money to put on those videos. So every one of those videos is always super well produced, well shot, well synchronized, everything like so. It's just the music that sometimes sucks.
Yeah, I'm amazed a lot of the time when I see K-pop type videos, and not just K-pop, also stuff from sort of China as well. Stuff that we're kind of never really, we never really sort of see. Like, yeah, because of the amount of people that follow them, the amount of money that's involved in Asia and stuff like this. Like the videos are super slick, super high production, and then
Yes.
like the live performances as well, just like crazy. Like I've got a lot
Yeah,
of friends that
exactly.
follow K-pop stuff, and
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
a lot of the artists nowadays. They go to the US and they go to the UK and they tour worldwide.
yeah.
And like, yeah, the production scale is just off the charts,
Insane.
bigger than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, it is. And sometimes like Juliana is a very hardcore Blackpink fan,
Hmm.
and the video of those girls like everyone, and it's not just good, like they had like their reference is super crazy, like they got like reference from artists from the 1800s, but it's really well thought of it. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome because I remember like when we were watching like boy bands or girl bands music videos back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like it was good videos, but it was not well thought of. Like they just putting a lot of colors on your face and that's it. And those ones like it's pretty cool. But I mean, they have a lot of money to put on those videos, so yeah, it's only right.
Yeah, crazy. And then one other more recent use of this song, which I just assumed was a TikTok song again because I'm old. An artist by the name of Armani White had a song
Yeah,
called Billie Eilish. There was
yeah,
also a remix of this with Ludacris, Busta Rhymes, and then N.O.R.E jumped on a verse as well to do a remix. They also performed it at the 2022 BET Hip
yeah,
Hop Awards, which I did
correct.
see at the time because I saw someone post about it and I watched it. And
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I knew the track just from hearing it on like TikTok.
Yeah.
Which let's be honest, I'm sure that's what like N.O.R.E knew it from as well. I'm sure he got a request to use the beat and was like, yeah, signed it off. And then after it blew up on TikTok and became really popular, I'm sure there were conversations about, oh yeah, let's do some kind of remix and let's get some other big names on there and let's get another verse out there and
Yeah,
make the track relevant again, at least for like
yeah,
N.O.R.E fans.
yeah, exactly. And and it's crazy how like a lot of producers from nowadays they are they are not sampling the beats. They are just putting some adding some drums, some
Just
snares, and
reusing them basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, basically, and it's okay. And Pharrell like is like clearing a lot of beats. Like they Pharrell's just like, oh, okay, use it. Like I don't care.
Well, I think nowadays there's always that hope that if you've got a song that's 15, 20 years old, this track's 22 years old now. If someone can reuse it and make it popular again,
Yeah, I mean,
if you still own your own publishing and all that sort of stuff, then you're going to get like a fat chunk of that.
yeah, 100%. No, it makes sense. Like it's good.
All right, that was all the notes I had for this track. Anything else you've got to bring up?
No, I'm just gonna say like that's the thing that we're talking about right now, like Armani wide, like using that beat, like it's just prove how timeless a lot of Neptune beats are. Like that one, like I'm pretty sure that everybody that listened to this to that beat for the first time through Armani wide, everybody was like, "Oh, this beat is awesome!" Like it's from right now. Like it's not, it doesn't feel old. It feels like from now. So I love
Yeah.
that about the Neptunes. Like, it's
And I think, yeah, I've probably said this a
insane.
thousand times on the podcast, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like, one of the big draws of the Neptunes and N.E.R.D stuff as well. It's just that a lot of it's ahead of its time and a lot of it is just, yeah, timeless.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And yeah, like I say, when that Armani White track came out in 2022, the original track, Nothing, was 20 years old.
yeah,
There's not many songs that you could pick that are 20 years old that still sound like they were made yesterday.
exactly. But I think it feels different when you pick just the beat, right? Because if you are sampling the entire song, also with the vocals, maybe it's going to feel a little bit old. Like if you get like I don't
Yeah.
know, if you pick like I don't know, beautiful for example. It's gonna feel old, but just because you're gonna remember that that is a song from 20 years ago. But when you pick just the beat and that one specifically, like it's gonna be like, oh shit, that is awesome.
Yeah, I think with this track, it's if you re-released it today or a couple of years ago, let's say, it would sound dated just because of the content and
Yeah,
the Noreaga side of it. The hook, I think you could probably get away with because I think it is a classic hook and it would still work.
yeah, exactly.
But the verses and the bridge, I don't think would work nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah, but to be able to reuse that now, 20 years on, even just the beat is amazing.
yeah.
All right, should we get into some news? I've got a few bits and pieces here.
Let's go. Let's do this.
We did mention on the last podcast the musical that Pharrell is working on, based in Virginia, I think very loosely based on his childhood and the area that he grew up. It was announced this week Missy Elliott is now involved in the production as well.
Yeah,
From what I could see, no one really knows how she's involved. I assume she's acting as a character in the movie. And she has been in a couple of movies previously, I think many years ago. But yeah, Missy Elliott is now tied to it, which makes sense. She's also from that area. So, there's a tie in there. And,
yeah,
obviously is known Pharrell for many, many years. So I think a great addition to pretty strong cast, to be honest, which
yeah,
they
yeah.
seem to have lined up for that.
Nice. Yeah, I think the guy from the series Atlanta, I think his name is Brian something. He played the rapper on the series. What is the name of the character? I'm forgetting everything. Sorry. But
I've never seen
yeah,
it
one
anyway,
of
so it doesn't matter.
yeah, it matters because it's pretty good. You have to
I
watch
know.
that.
It's on my list with like 10 million other TV shows to watch. I know.
No, do it. It's pretty good. So and there's the rapper. I think it. Well, forget about it. But it's one of the guys that plays in Atlanta. Like, and I was wondering like who is going to play. He's going to play Shay. He's going to play Mike E. He's going to play who?
Yeah, well, this is like I think still what we don't really know. It says it's loosely based on Pharrell's childhood.
Oh yeah,
I get the feeling there won't be a character like Pharrell. There won't be a Shay or a Chad or anyone else. I think it's going to be based more around, the focus is more on the neighborhood and the kind of stories from the neighborhood that he kind of, heard and was involved in kind of as a child. Because we've seen that with the new album as well. And again, apologies to people that are listening to this that listened to me promise to you last week that we would have a special guest this week. They will be here soon. I do promise that, just not this week. But the new album itself, again, it's like an ode to Virginia. It's telling this, his kind of story of Virginia, and I get the feeling that's what this new musical / movie is going to be. It's going to be,
nice.
inspired by things he may have seen, growing up and stories he was told and things that happened in the neighborhood. But I don't imagine it's going to focus. There's not going to be a character that is meant to be him or meant to be Shay or anyone else. I think that's
Okay,
the
yeah,
thing.
makes sense.
I think I get the feeling that's the thing Pharrell tends to shy away from. He doesn't like he doesn't like to be the focal point of things like that generally.
Yeah,
So I get the feeling the focus will be on Virginia as a whole.
nice. Yeah, it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be interested to see how it goes.
And well, one question: when the Lego project is coming out?
I don't know. I think. Oh God, did I see 2024 or 2025
Yeah, I
coming
think.
soon?
Yeah, I think it's 2024, right?
Yeah, my memory's terrible for dates, but it wasn't that far away when they
Yeah.
posted about it.
Mm.
Yeah, so he's involved. Yeah, in that. Then obviously Despicable Me 4 that we mentioned
Yeah,
last week.
yeah.
I think we did in the last episode.
Oh, there's a release date for everyone that is listening to it, like October 11 this
Okay,
year.
so later this year then. Yeah,
Yeah, let's see.
be interesting to see because obviously he's probably going to feature on a lot of the soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah,
Will he do any promotion around this? Because he's a busy guy anyway.
yeah.
So to suddenly
I
then
hope
have
so.
like 3 or 4 different films and music from them to be sort of promoting as well, it seems kind of quite a lot. So it'd be interesting to see how they pick and choose, like, what he maybe perhaps performs or what stuff gets pushed in terms of Grammys and Oscars and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
And speaking of new music, I don't think we mentioned this on the last one, even though we did talk about Coachella. Coi Leray previewed a new Pharrell collaboration called Not in the Store. I did see a couple of videos of her doing this, but the quality wasn't great, so you couldn't really tell, or I couldn't tell much about the song. I'm sure there are better quality recordings out there from the Coachella official feed, but I never got around to watching them. But that's one to look out for coming soon, I believe.
Yeah. I have not seen that at all.
Yeah, I think she previewed like a couple of minutes of it or something during her set.
Nice.
But if you're a Coi Leray fan, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, because again, I'm aware of who she is, but I don't really know who she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go and look that up. Other things that are coming soon, something that I'm looking forward to, a new book from Phillip Leeds. So if you are a big BBC fan, N.E.R.D fan from back in the day, you will know Philip was heavily involved in the kind of early days of BBC. He was also the N.E.R.D tour manager for a number of years. You will see him in the background of pretty much every old N.E.R.D picture or video that fan accounts post online.
Yeah.
He brought out a book
BBC
of
photo shoots.
Oh yes, exactly. Model material,
Yeah.
everything. He's done it all. But he did bring out a book a few years back called Big Shots, which is him taking kind of Polaroid pictures of people that he's encountered over the years and met, obviously through his travels and his involvement with a lot of this work. He has volume 2 coming out soon, with a forward in the book from Pharrell, who I think also did the forward in the original volume 1. So I'm looking forward to that. I've already put my order in. You can get
Nice.
signed copies as well. I don't have the link to hand to say here, but I'll try and put it in the show notes. But you can go and follow Phillip on Instagram, and then in his bio there is a link to go and purchase the book. You can get a regular version or a signed version. Not particularly expensive either. I think the signed version $40-$50 or something like that. So I made sure I went and pre-ordered that, and that is coming after the summer, if I remember correctly.
Nice. And I love the name of the book, Big Shots. Like perfect. So cool.
It is. It's a really good name.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, it is.
I don't know if Phillip came up with that or someone else did, but it's whoever did. It's an
Pretty clever.
excellent piece of marketing and copywriting for sure.
Yeah.
Other things that may be coming soon: new Clips music.
Yeah.
Now,
That I saw it. Yeah.
oh yeah. So Pusha T was talking in an interview in the last week or so, where he was talking about how he's been spending a lot of time in Paris, not just doing fashion stuff, not just doing catwalk things for Pharrell and other people, but he did mention you've seen me there with clips, you've seen me in fashion shows, and the aforementioned one, we may have something coming soon.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get some clip stuff. I always do find it surprising though when a new clips track pops up, just because if you follow Malice or No Malice as he is nowadays, he just seems to be in the gym every day
Yeah.
in Virginia. I think he's still in Virginia. So
Preaching.
I don't quite know where he gets the time to kind of, duck out and go and record a verse and do all this stuff as well. But from the mouth of Pusha T himself, we may have something coming soon. So that I really am looking forward to, because let's be honest, Clips are never going to let us down. Pretty much
Yeah.
everything they do is like
100%.
10 out of 10. Everything that Pusha works on these days is like, made to almost perfection. So I have very
Yeah.
high hopes.
Yeah, me too. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a Clips project because they have I don't know if they have other concerts to do, but they're going to perform here in Barcelona in June at
Yep, they're
Primavera
doing
Sounds.
some of the festivals and stuff. Yeah.
So maybe yeah, they are prepping for the festival in July, August, like summer festival, so maybe they're going to just put the album in just to promote it with the concerts. Let's see.
Yeah, it's interesting because I remember some old interviews where they talked about like the Clips getting back together and touring and all this sort of thing. And I think it was Malice. Well, Pusha was saying that Malice just wasn't interested in the money anymore. There was no amount of money that could get them back touring and all this kind of thing. But yeah, what I'm really hoping is maybe the summer they'll be doing the back catalogue, generating a bit of hype again, and then
Yeah,
perhaps then after the summer we might see an album, and then potentially an actual Clips tour later in the year or next year or something.
yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to hear what Malice is going to rap about. Like rap, not just rap about, but how what is going to be his angle on music. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so we've seen him like the last few years do like the odd guest verse here and there.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's been stuff with Pusha and kind of Clips stuff that they've done for Pharrell. He's appeared on one of Kanye's albums,
yeah,
and yeah, has a mixture of things he talks about. But obviously now with him having kind of changed the direction of his life a bit more and not necessarily wanting to rap about those things he used to, it will be interesting to see how that holds out across 10 tracks or 12 tracks on an album where you've got to do at least one verse pretty much on every track.
yeah, yeah. Let's see.
But let's be honest, they're two of the greatest writers of the last X number of years. So I am
Yes.
more than sure they are capable and will still bring us amazing tracks.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I'm like, I will put my hand on fire for that.
And speaking of new tracks, we had today a new Kendrick Lamar track. I still haven't had time to listen to it.
Yeah,
Called Euphoria. I only bring it up just because it specifically addresses Drake's previous diss of Pharrell, and kind of calls it out and says, "I don't like that. I take that personally." So
Yeah,
Kendrick's getting involved in there now, which is interesting to see. Like I said, I
yeah,
haven't heard the track itself yet.
yeah. No, I heard like just the once, and from what I heard, like he's going hard, and I love the part that he mentions Pharrell. Like he says something like, "Oh, why you coming? Why you pushing Pharrell? I, I don't fuck with pushing P. Why don't you push a T?" So yeah, so like he mentioned like, "Why you coming after Pharrell when you lost for Pusha? Like why you
Yeah, yeah.
we have to go after Pusha?" So yeah, it was pretty cool.
I will give that a listen soon, and again, I'll try and put a link in the show notes if I happen to remember to do it.
And from what I heard, like it's basically Kendrick is saying like unmasking Drake, like just saying like putting his business out, like saying like this is who you really are. You're not a rapper. You are an actor. Like you're not from the culture. Like you're from outside. So yeah, it's pretty rough. Like I have no idea how Drake is going to came out of this. I mean, he's using a lot of like he's using AI, he's using a lot of memes, he's using academics, he's using the internet on his side, but lyrically, like he he don't stand a chance. Like
There was
everybody
a
knows
Drake
it
track he had to take down. Was it last week? He used an AI
from
version of
Tupac.
Tupac's voice, and they
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
given permission to, use his voice for anything. And I saw that got taken down.
Ridiculous.
Again, I'm so out of the loop that despite being a massive Tupac fan, I wasn't aware of this. Probably because I just ignore everything with Drake's name attached to it. But I will
Yeah,
have to try and dig that out as well and give that a listen at some point.
yeah.
And then the final bit of news I've got from the last couple of weeks. If you have some spare cash, and by spare cash, I mean if you are a millionaire, you can go and cop Pharrell's new pre-fall collection for Louis Vuitton.
Wow.
The nautical themed stuff that we've seen over the last few months that he's been previewing. I have to say, I looked at the collection online before we started this call. I had a quick flick through it. There's some like amazing stuff in there.
Yeah,
Like,
I
man,
saw
I wish I was rich.
it. Yeah, the stuff that you sent me like is like a pajama, right?
Oh no,
Silk.
there was a yeah. It's like a silk shorts, and it's got a matching like a button-up shirt that goes with it as
Oh,
well.
so that's the price that I saw is just for the
Oh, it's just the
shorts.
shorts, my friend. Yes, just the shorts.
What in the hell?
Yeah, you don't get the whole outfit for that price.
Wow. It's $1,100, right? Something like eleven
Something
hundred
like that.
euros.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
For a pair of shorts.
God, it's a lot of money.
Yes, for sure. But there were some really nice items in there, like some really nice jackets. The accessories I really liked. Obviously, it has that kind of nautical theme. So there's a really nice shade of blue that they use on everything. And I really liked, the wallets, the luggage. There was a really nice tie in there as well. Yeah, unfortunately, having scrolled through it, I'm nowhere near rich enough to really afford any of it.
Yeah, nice. I always like the every time every collection that Pharrell did with Louis Vuitton, like everything that always catch my eyes is the varsities. Like
Yes,
I
there's
think
some really nice ones.
the I think in this last one like they put like some the one is a dark blue one with some patches and with a cursive writing on the chest like Louis Vuitton and is a basic like a cardigan jacket, but it looks pretty cool, pretty awesome. With the LV on the back, like all crossover, like it's a cursive,
Yeah.
but it's crossing over. Pretty cool. Pretty because I never saw like the LV like wrote it like that on the cursive, and but everything's mixed. Like it reminds me kind of the graffiti. So that's why
Hmm.
I think like catch a lot of my eye because it reminds me also like it's not just mixing high culture fashion with streetwear, but also putting some graffiti on it, but just a tiny bit, just like if you are really into graffiti, like you're gonna glance it. So
You
yeah,
spot it, yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. If anyone out there gets a chance to try any or even buy any, if you are wealthy enough, then
Yeah,
please let us know what you get. I did look at some of the accessories because that's where my budget lies. I feel, but there was nothing really that I would want to buy and then would really use or anything. I did
yeah,
try to see. I'm in the market for a passport holder or a passport cover. Louis Vuitton do some really nice ones. So I did look to see if they had one in this collection. Unfortunately, not though. So I will see if one comes up in the future. Otherwise, I'll end up just splurging on another LV one.
yeah. I think since we are like Pharrell fans, like I feel like this is the first Louis Vuitton collection. No, I mean the stuff with Virgil also. Like there was a lot of things that I saw it and I was like, oh, I will wear that. But I think this one with Pharrell, there's a lot of pieces, like a lot of clothing that I was like, oh, I would love to have that have this. But I mean,
I look at it and there's like a lot of stuff I really wouldn't wear. I wouldn't touch with a barge pole, as we say. Like I saw there was like a flared pair of jeans earlier, and this is in the men's section. And I was just like, oh my god, they're awful. And to be fair, like the jeans that Pharrell's been wearing recently, like the really baggy ones and the slightly flared ones, I think they look awful. I think they look terrible personally. I'm
yeah,
not a fan
yeah,
of them.
me too.
So
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't touch, but then there is a lot of stuff that does look absolutely beautiful. Like I
yeah,
say, if I'll put again, the link will be in the show notes because I do actually have it here. There is the silk shorts and shirt that we were talking about a moment ago, and it's got like a what's the word, like iridescent kind of shine to the Louis Vuitton pattern that's on there as well. By the looks of it, it looks amazing, and like
yes,
that's something. Yeah, if I had the money, I'd go out and buy it like immediately. And like you say, there's a bunch of jackets in there which are really, really nice, really beautiful.
yeah,
So I would certainly spend a lot of money if I had a lot of money to spend.
yeah, me too. 100%.
Unfortunately, we don't. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you need to sell some more posters, mate.
yeah. Let's see. Like, I'm gonna like double the price in Zurich. Let's see how much money I get out of there.
Come on, people of Zurich. If you live in Zurich, you probably work in banking or something similar. We know it's expensive to live there. You've probably got loads of money. I know taxes are quite high there, but
Yeah.
come on, you earn good money. Get down there and make sure you buy lots of things from Rafa for sure.
Yes, please. I can give you a free hug with it.
That's all
Free
you need.
Brazilian hug.
Oh, beautiful. All right, well, that's all the news I had for this week. Anything else from yourself?
No, not really. Like all the news that I have is like focused on me. So it's just because
If
we
there's
are
any more,
preparing.
feel free to share it. It's fine.
Yeah, no. It's just because we're preparing everything to the Zurich event. So I'm working a lot. So that's it. So basically, that's it. And we talk about like the thing that happened like the last few weeks, like the last couple of weeks. The I think it was more like impactful for me was like the Tyler Coachella performance. That was amazing. It was amazing to see he brought out Childish Gambino and Charlie Wilson. Like it was a beautiful moment. I don't know if you saw it, but they sat down in front of the piano. Tyler played the piano, and Charlie sang a lot. And I mean, Charlie singing, like his voice is amazing, is godly. So it was such a beautiful moment. And I always like how Tyler pays respect to the OGs, especially Charlie Wilson. Like he's is is in our world, right? Like the first time that I heard Charlie Wilson was through the Neptunes. It was through like Snoop Dogg. So it was amazing to see like Tyler doing what a Neptune's fan would do if he was in his position, like paying his respects. So it was pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, I did try and look it up on a couple of occasions, but the Coachella official account has kind of split them all down song by song. And
Yeah,
I didn't want to sit there going through one by one. I want to watch like the whole set in one go. So if anyone out there has a link to somewhere where I can stream or download the whole set in one and not filmed from somebody's fucking phone camera or whatever, an actual proper version of it from the official stream, then please send it over to me because I would like to give it a watch.
yeah. And other thing, like Julian and I, we just bought the tickets to see Justin Timberlake. But yeah, he's going to perform in Europe in the next couple of months. And we bought the tickets to see him in Belgium. I
Going to Belgium, nice.
Yes, it was the only place that still has tickets and still have like affordable tickets because we were thinking about going to the UK to see it. Too much money, like hell
I'm
expensive.
trying to see if he's got a Helsinki date, but
I don't
no,
think
he
so.
doesn't. No,
Yeah, no, we
People
would have
rarely
bought it.
do.
Yeah, yeah, because he's not coming to Spain at all. Like, well, oh fuck. Okay, we're gonna get some tickets from abroad, but yeah,
Yeah, I do remember when they announced it, and I saw some of the London dates. I think I even considered it, but then yeah, I sort of look at it and I'm like, I'm only really going for the older stuff. I don't
yeah,
necessarily want to hear too much of the new stuff. And again, we've talked about the new album a few weeks back. Like, I wouldn't want to sit there and listen to loads of tracks off of that, to be perfectly honest. So, I don't
yeah,
think it would be money well spent. And I think if he was here in Helsinki, like, the prices here are obscene. Yeah, I might justify it if I knew what the set list was and I knew there were a few older tracks that I liked. But yeah, I don't know if I'd fork out €200 to sit at the back of an arena in Helsinki to watch him.
yeah, exactly. And I thought like when the first time that I saw the prices, like, man, wasn't this man just canceled? Why he's like why he's charging so much money for his ticket? Like I think Twitter have to cancel him again, like harder. Like he's not doing enough.
Cancelled people still have tax bills to pay, unfortunately.
Yeah. So damn, man. So and the ones in Belgium were not cheap, but it was the cheapest ones. So and we
Yeah,
have we have some friends that lives in Brussels, so it's gonna be like a little bit better just to go there. We don't have to spend money on hotels or Airbnb
yeah.
or anything like that. So we're gonna like, oh, okay, let's go to Belgium. It
Nice.
makes
If anyone
sense.
else has tickets to see Justin Timberlake in Belgium, is it later this year?
Yeah, it's going to be on August. I
Okay,
think
in the summer then. Nice.
yeah, in the summer, yeah. I think the tour here in Europe it starts in July, end of July, something like that, and it goes until the end of September, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, so if you're seeing Justin Timberlake in Brussels, then reach out to
Yes,
young Rafa and he'll be there.
let's go.
I would say the one thing for me to mention, just because I was trying to get an interview for this podcast actually, and it didn't work out in time, was I saw Dizzy Rascal here in Helsinki on
Yes.
Monday. I'm a big fan of Dizzy Rascal. I, you know, followed him since the early 2000s when he first sort of came on the scene in the UK. And I was hoping to actually get to chat to him and talk about his cult classic performance in 2004 when he was on the stage with N.E.R.D and Justin
Yeah.
Timberlake and Will.I.am and Naomi Campbell and all those other
Wow.
guys after the Brit Awards. So I was there that night. I want to chat about that, and then also the rumored work that he did with the Neptunes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because back then as well, there were a few bits that leaked out after that were tagged as him and Chad Hugo having worked together. I'm not sure if Pharrell ever did any work
They
with
have
him.
they have a remix together, right?
There
Or
was a
something.
there
Yeah,
was a remix. I don't know if it's an official one though.
yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple of bits that did leak out like in the early 2000s. So I kind of wanted to try and talk to him about that and see kind of what happened or what didn't happen. But unfortunately, he was literally in the country for like 12 hours, so
Oh man.
didn't have the time.
Yeah. How was the concert?
It was a good show. It
Nice.
was very short. He was only on stage for like an hour,
Okay.
but it was constant. It was just a hit after hit after hit after hit for an hour.
Nice.
Everyone had a good time. It was only a smallish venue, so I don't think it was sold out because they were still selling tickets, I think, on the day on the door. And I think a lot of the gigs he's doing at the moment in Europe, they're all quite small venues because obviously he's not as popular or as relevant these days as he kind of
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
be. Because I've seen him in massive venues, really big venues in London and in Southampton and in Bournemouth and stuff like that.
Nice.
And yeah, that's back when he was like at his height. Nowadays, yeah, probably not so much. But because it was a small venue, it was obviously fans that really wanted to see him, that were really into it. So yeah, everyone had a good night. Good to see him live again. Good to hear all those kind of classic tracks live.
Nice. Cool,
I
man.
recommend it if you have the opportunity to see him on tour. This summer. I don't know how long the tour is going for. I know there were at least a few more dates. I recommend going because again, small venue, ticket prices weren't that bad. I think I paid €35, which
Oh,
for
awesome.
Helsinki is really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I recommend it.
that's awesome. And I saw the also Nas, right? Like he's doing a tour
I have
to
tickets for
sellers.
that.
Oh, oh, nice. I'm thinking about going. Yeah, it's just because of the
Yeah,
days, like because in the second semester we have a lot of events to attend to work. So I'm just trying to figure out what country I would choose. But yeah, I want to because uh, if I'm going to be honest, it's the only Nas album that I listen to. Is the Illmatic.
yeah. So for those that I'm aware, it's the 30th anniversary of Illmatic. I think it's this year, isn't it? Which is why the
Yeah.
tour's starting this year. Yeah, and he's doing a worldwide tour. He's doing a lot of dates in the US and then around the world. I was very surprised he was doing Helsinki. The ticket prices were obscene. It's only a smallish venue, but it was like €100 for just a normal standing ticket.
Yeah.
Myself and a mate are going. We're both in our 40s, so we got the slightly cheaper seated tickets, so we can
Nice.
sit down and watch up
Yeah,
on the
just
balcony.
bounce while
Yeah,
seated. Like, here we go.
I've never done that at a gig, but as I've got older, when I've been at the front of a gig, I've looked back and I've seen people on the balcony. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I was in those seats. I wish I could sit down with my drink and
Yeah,
listen to this.
yeah,
So this time, instead of €100 to stand there and have my feet ache, I paid €80 for a seated ticket. So let's see how that goes. But I think here in Helsinki, it's in October, maybe.
yeah, yeah.
So if you're free in October and you don't want to pay for a hotel, wink,
Yeah,
wink.
but yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's the thing. Like when I because it was a friend of mine that she hit me with a message saying like, "Oh, you saw that Nas is performing Illmatic in Europe here in Europe." I was like, "Okay, let's go. Okay, let's see it." And when I saw Helsinki, I was like, "Let's go." Like it's gonna be the perfect opportunity, but it's going to be exactly the same like weekend that we are going to a event in Italy, in Milan.
Ah, oh,
So
boo.
yeah, yeah, it's already paid. So I'm like, oh man,
Damn.
yeah, exactly.
Oh well. Hopefully you manage to find another date that works
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Let's see.
you can go see him, yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
All right. Well, I think that's everything for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, right?
I need to go to bed. You need to go and finish packing because you have an early flight.
Yes.
So we will wrap it up. So as always, you can stream the podcast, find the show notes, all the information, all that jazz over on the website, theothers.net. You can get all the links as well on the Linktree link, which is linktree/Otherz podcast. You can find me at Steve R. Penny everywhere online. And Rafa, where can they find you?
You can find me on my Instagram is Rafito underline Cirque, and in my professional Instagram page that I do my artwork with full of sneaker illustration is at Sneakertel. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. And links will be in the show notes, hopefully, if I remember, as
Nice.
most weeks. But cool. Thank you for listening, everyone. And
Yeah,
we will
man.
catch you next time. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye.